My name is Robert Claiborne Morris. This collection that we're about to spend a little time going through encompasses 36 pieces of mixed media work that took about 6 years to create, that are the inspiration from a book written by Douglas Blackmon called Slavery by Another Name. The book clearly demonstrates in words and images that slavery in this country continued past the Emancipation Proclamation after the Civil War up until 1940. The two pieces you see here are created from objects that came from the Savannah River, where slave ships once passed up and down the river. This piece I call the folk art pulpit. The pieces adhere to it were once thought to have been associated to the slave trade, as well as this piece back here I call the Resurrection Trilogy. 3 pieces of driftwood that represent the hundreds of thousands of men that were lost in this re-enslavement era, where men were actually sold back into slavery. And I find these pieces of driftwood symbolic of their representation in a way to try to pay tribute and give homage to the memory of these men who were sold back into re-enslavement. This piece is titled Stone Mountain. It's an attempt to look at one of our great or not so great Southern icons through a new lens. If slavery did not end in 1865, it makes us have to reinterpret and revisit history. And in this piece, that is what I've attempted to do. Again, it's wood panel, burlap on wood panel, with the portraits of the 3 generals within the piece, and old shards from sharecropper shack roofs incorporated into the piece, as well as a skull to symbolize unearthing this piece of history that was lost for so many years. Just beneath the piece, Stone Mountain, is a book in which I've incorporated the actual photographs from the era mixed in with mixed media pieces that are authentic to the era as well. The one thing that I've noticed about this piece that has impacted people is that when they both experience the history and then the image that they've known for many years, they see it in a new light. And I keep going back to this one fact is if the story we were told through school that slavery ended with the Emancipation Proclamation is not accurate, then it makes us have to go back and look at how we interpret and how we learn history from that time onward. And I feel that this piece perhaps attempts to do that and reawaken our sense of history and our sense of fairness. This piece is titled Here's a Wound That Will Not Heal, after the poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay. This piece was one of the most incredible experiences I had creating the paintings. What we did was we found original photographs from the era, from the Library of Congress and in Douglas Blackmon's book, and we went and we looked farther into them. And I had a student from the Savannah College of Art and Design look very closely at one photograph, and I could tell by the expression in this man's face that he had gone through some terror. And after reprocessing the photo and using certain types of techniques to enhance it, we discovered that he had a wound in his solar plexus that was so deep and so incredible that he was not long for this world, because these men received no medical attention. He had been beaten very bad. So we had this photograph reprocessed and then superimposed on this canvas, in which I applied oil paint on top of it to create the image. And as I was painting this painting, I had a very eerie sense that this man was in some way coming back to life, and it gave me great satisfaction to know that even though this man is anonymous, his image speaks for the hundreds of thousands of men that endured this.
The experience was awesome. We've learned so much today that we're able to walk away with so much knowledge today that we didn't have before. The purpose of bringing the family was because I am raising 6 and 4 of my boys, and I really want my sons to understand what so many of our African American males went through to get us to where we are today.
My favorite piece of the art would probably be the picture of the man. I had a lot of emotion coming out when I saw that picture. It almost made me want to cry because I could see in his face the expression. I could go back and like picture everything that they went through and just feel it.
Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the tree to drop. Here is a strange